welcome back to the channel. We're back on the driveway. Got a few parts to install today on both cars. Obviously I'm still building my car. Reason we're installing parts on this car is because if you've not seen last week's video, this guy actually broke it again.
So last week we was out for a bit of a drive, testing the car, making sure everything was running properly, and we managed to snap a drive shaft. It's actually been replaced now. We got a second-hand OEM drive shaft rather than an aftermarket drive shaft this time. So hopefully it should be a little bit more durable. Also, while we was out, we was having a lot of bogging issues still. So we're going to be replacing the aftermarket MAF with a genuine OEM MAF. I also want to pull the fuel pump out and just have a look in the tank, make sure there's no debris in there, because the car was sat for quite a while before I restored it and got it back on the road. But yeah, that's what we're going to be doing on my car, and then also going to be working on this rust bucket as well, so I'll let Wiggy talk you through that.
Right, so we've got a few parts to install today. First of all, the other day we filmed fitting this hybrid racing idler pulley. So the reason why we didn't upload that video on its own the other day is because we needed to measure the pulley system up so we could get the ideal belt size. Now I've done that, the tape measure's still on there as you can see. Got the belt ordered from Euro Car Parts. It's a pretty universal type belt. It measured it up at 1320mm. This belt's actually 1325, but I'm hoping it doesn't make a difference, so this is what we're going to get installed first.
Wiggy's dodgy measuring.
Can't remember which way round this went now. Right, so I need to get round the crank pulley, which I might be better off doing from underneath actually.
Yeah. And then is it going round there? And one round there? Like that? No.
No. That needs to go around the outside. Around the outside, around the outside. Nah, I can't go like that. That's way too
much. Not unless you're measuring this fucking way off.
YouTube mechanics.
I know what you've done.
Go on.
I think that bottom bit comes up around this one.
It does. Yeah, it does.
What would you do without me, bro? You're supposed to be the mechanical one.
So that needs to come.
Because you're definitely not the driver.
That's as much as it goes, actually.
Just make sure it's all on.
It's pretty tight, that, isn't it? Is that tight enough, do you reckon?
Yeah.
Belt installed.
That's the most straightforward install we've ever had at this garage, bro.
Sweet.
And we even made that look a bit difficult.
Sweet, so next we need to do the drive shafts. But to do the drive shafts, this engine mount needs bolting in properly. It's not fully tight, so that needs tightening. Then we need to bolt the intermediate shaft to the block properly there, just finger tight.
What's that at the back?
What's that? Yeah, that needs tightening. I didn't know that was loose, to be fair. So the next part I've got to install is the drive shafts. I'm going to start off with this one, which is driver side. It's got the open cup style one. So yeah, I'm going to install this next. Ooh, that one's stinging. Yeah. I've had to disassemble the whole suspension. I stupidly thought it'd be simple. When I took the D-series out, managed to get the D-series drive shaft through the shock fork without disassembling any of it, but these K-swap shafts are obviously a bit thicker. So what I've had to do is take the bottom ball joint off from the hub, drop the lower control arm, then we've had to take the suspension strut forks off the lower control arm and kind of just jiggery poker it around. So now the offside drive shaft is actually mounted onto the intermediate shaft. I was having a bit of issues at first, bit of lube on there, went straight on. So now, yeah, it's just a case of building the suspension back up and hoping that them splines all go smoothly into the hub, and we should be on to the other side. Both drive shafts are installed now. We decided not to film the other side because we'd already filmed this side, and we expected it just to be a repeat. It turned out to be a ball ache, ball joints, foots, everything was spinning, rusty. it was a nightmare.
These Civics, bro.
Yeah, it was a nightmare. Now, last job of the day for the Civic is fitting the exhaust manifold on. But yeah, we'll get into it. Right, so one car down, one to go. Just finished getting the manifold installed. We decided to split it into two just because we couldn't really get much access with it in one piece. And also we're going to have to do some tack welds just to keep it all together nicely. So I'm going to install the rest of the manifold when I get a custom exhaust system. I'm going to send that off somewhere to do that because I can't weld. But yeah, Civic's all done, drive shafts are on, exhaust manifolds on, belts on. Now we're moving over onto the E36. So what we're going to do first?
Right, so we're going to pull this fuel pump out now. Just want to have a look inside the fuel tank, make sure that there's no debris in there. That's because obviously when we're driving we're having the bogging issue. If there is any debris in there, that could indicate that maybe we've got a blocked injector. So yeah, let's pull this off and see where we get to. Right, so we've got the fuel pump out. As you can see, there's a tiny little bit of debris on the filter, but for a 30-year-old car, it's nothing major. If you have a quick look inside the tank there, there's nothing really major, as you can see. So we'll get this back in and we're going to pull the spark plug out of cylinder 6, just have a look. I've had some problems with that spark plug before. Water's getting in through the bonnet, and because it's got no engine cover on, sometimes water's sitting inside the cylinder. So we just want to double check that. So let's get this in and we'll jump on that. So we'll just get a screwdriver under here, pry this off. And then this lead should just pull straight out. Alright, so 10 milli on these. Oh, can you be quiet in my video, please, mate? And yeah, as you can see, coil patch soaking, rusty. Probably going to get a hoover and try and hoover out some of the water. And then we'll cover up that vent hole with some insulation tape to try and stop any more water getting in.
On his story, so I was like, where's this going? He's like, why is it when you go to the...
Spark plug's out now. We use this socket, the extension on the hoover to get most of the water out. This is what the spark plug's looking like. So as you can see, it's got a little bit of black on it, which indicates that it might be over-fueling slightly, which makes sense because when it was misfiring, it did smell of fuel quite heavy. For now, we're just going to put this back in, but at some point in the near future, we'll probably end up changing all the spark plugs. The spark plug's back in, last job of the day. Going to fit this OEM MAF. So first things first, going to take this old one out, which will just consist of taking this Jubilee clip off and this Jubilee clip, and then should just be able to replace this whole housing with the OEM one. Right, so the old MAF's off. You're just going to bang this one on, and hopefully that resolves the bogging issues that we've had. Whether it does or not, I don't know. For the future, we are actually thinking about putting OEM airbox on, because the fan here hasn't got any housing around it, and it's kicking a lot of hot air just into the engine bay. And after a little bit of driving, this is getting really hot. So we're thinking that it might make a bit of a difference if we put the OEM airbox back on. But let's get this on now, see how the car runs, and then we'll go from there.
So today we managed to get all the bits I wanted to get installed on the Civic. Started off with the idler puller and the auxiliary belt. Then managed to get the drive shafts installed, which ended up being a nightmare. Passenger side wasn't fun. Everything was just rounded and yeah, it wasn't fun.
That's why you should buy a Beamer, bro.
Nah, never.
No rusty bolts.
Nah.
Nothing gets threaded. You being a hood mechanic, bro, just
Yeah,
sending bolts in left, right, and centre.
Buy a Honda for the engine.
Oh, I can't wait to get on track, bro. I can't wait to get on track.
Yeah, finally got the drive shafts done, and then it was onto the exhaust manifold, which also proved a bit difficult in terms of getting the space under the car, so we actually ended up splitting it. Gonna leave the second part of the manifold to be installed by a fabricator when I get my exhaust done. And after that, it's just the ECU, and the wiring finished off. Showed you a few bits earlier, didn't I? That we've got left to do, and then it's literally, I know I keep saying it, but it's how close is it?
It's nearly ready now.
It's nearly there.
I think probably next time we do installs should be
Should
last few bits, ECU on, and then start up.
Yeah, so hopefully next time
and see how good you really are on them wrenches, bro. Because I don't know whether that car's gonna start.
So I'm still surprised myself that the car's kind of back together.
Yeah, it's resembling a car.
Yeah,
but whether it actually drives, we're yet to see. But yeah, as for the real car, E36. We pulled the fuel pump. We did check inside the tank. As you probably seen on the video, there wasn't too much debris in there, so I'm not too concerned about that. The filter looked okay. We've covered up the vent holes on the bonnet and the windscreen washer hole to try and stop water from getting into cylinder 6. Then we fitted the OEM MAF, took out that aftermarket MAF. Yet to see how the car's going to run with that, But I'm pretty sure next video will be maybe a short test drive. But yeah, hopefully it fixes the issues and we can get some proper sends going. It's going to be ready before this car anyway.
Nah,
I know
no
that.
chance. No chance.
I can't be having this guy build the whole car on his driveway in the length of time it's took me to try and fault find what's wrong
This
with my
car's
car.
already had more driveway time than my car.
We should be back on the road, on track, whatever, around about the same sort of time. So yeah, next video, let's get after it.